Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpack Trader Training Room for Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not financial advice. Trade your charts, not mine. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. All right. Set the disclosure aside. We do have a crude oil inventory session this morning at 10:30. If you use add-on trades in your crude trade plan, you are one and done this morning. 20 and 31 ticks to target 1 and 2, 51 ticks on the trade. If not, you're still waiting for this trade to finish, because the original trade was before our start time, and we're just waiting for that to finish so we can get a trade if you're not using add-ons. Soybeans has a potential short trade. We'll wait for market open on that. That set up 2 hours ago. Almost 2 hours ago. YM with a get in sync long. Nothing on unleaded. As I say, crude is done. We're trailing the early target or early trade to see when it ends. But since the early trade would have gotten both targets, we'd have been flat. That's why I use the add-ons there. Unfortunately, no trades to get involved with along the way on unleaded. Pound Aussie, just like yesterday, it's in an early trade. And that's a valid trade on the micro Russell. Hit the stop before hitting target. You got to move a tick to get to money management. That 25.1. And money management. And a win, so that goes too far for us to get involved with. Market is open. Yeah. Ooh, shoot. We've got, there's a little wick. So yes, there's a little wick right there. Got down to 23.4 there. So that's going to be 2 seconds. Nope, too fast. That is a no trade. Almost enough time to get involved with that. All right, soybeans trade canceled. So looking for a new trade there. YM. It's like it got. Looks like you got to break even on the first one. Second trade is going to be short. And definitely should be in that. Wow. 40 tick trade to target 1. That's a bigger one than usual. And Aussie stop moves up. Yesterday it was a short, today it's a long, but same situation, too early to get involved with. Still nothing on unleaded. YM back down to the entry. One tick away again, it looks like. This wick right down here should definitely have gotten us in, and we just hit it again. So definitely in the trade. Short trade on the micro Russell. That did trigger in. Got to go one tick. So that's going to be 23.4, it looks like. YM pushing down. Micro Russell with money management. So we get a break, at least a break even on this trade. And there's an intra-bar stop out. So that is a break even on trade number one for the micro Russell. YM money management. $5.78 for the trailing stop. And $5.77 and moving down smartly. Unfortunately, what? Micro Russell unfortunately stopped out intra-bar, but the calculator is tracking because it doesn't move the stop until the bar closes. But we move we move to break even as soon as we hit money management, the money management levels. That one did stop out. YM trailing nicely here. This is going to be a one and done. 5.52 for the trailing stop. 40 tick target. Entry was 5.78, so we've got 26 ticks to the trailer at the moment. $5.36. Now $5.31 on the YM. We have got our timing to get into the micro Russell. I hadn't got any place to, or no, I'm sorry, micro NQ. There's the YM just stopped out at YM stopped out at 5.23. It's 5.78, 55 ticks. 40 ticks on the target, 55 on the trailer, 95 tick trade. And I'll move unleaded up there so we can watch it and watch the micro NQ. All right, definitely got a short, and it came back up to get us in, so we would have gotten into that one. It would have been a target 2. Looks like it missed target 3 by a tick. That would have been a time to trade for profit. Now the long is trailing also. This is a winning trade. I don't see a... We'll track this one. We may have had an entry right here. You had a 20-second long bar on the third bar. So we will track that. That's target 2 win, target 3 win. Working toward target 4. Crude down under $58 now. Low of $57.81. And we would have gotten targets 3 and 4 on the micro Russell trade, but now we have a long trade on the micro Russell. It needs another tick there. 26.1. And trade is still valid. Didn't hit the entry, so we've hit the stop. You know, crossover of the cat lines will cancel that trade. Short trade on the micro NQ. That one's definitely in. Gave us a second chance on the entry. And giving us heat. And we did trigger into the micro Russell long trade. That's a valid one. We'll have to track it manually because it hit both the stop and the entry on the same bar. So the calculator doesn't know whether to track it or not, and so it won't track. Money management. Roughly there. Looking for target 3. We take a full loss on the micro NQ, and we have a long setup that has not triggered in yet. So we have a win, 2 wins and a loss. Same situation there again. Trade is still valid if we have not hit the entry. Target 3 on the micro Russell. That's win number 3. I think that's right, isn't it? And there's target 4. 25.9 would be the stop. And that just went up, I believe. 26.4. And we went up again, I believe. Yep. 27.3. Hasn't moved yet. Still in the original short on crude. We got a white long trade set up on soybeans, but it went too far. No, I say it went too far. Let's see. Yeah, it went too far. There was the 6 tick. So chase ticks pushed it up 2 more. So that was there, and it went right on through that. That trade went too far once it's set up. We had the that's what it was. Actually, no, we could have gotten into that. And that would be target 2 positions at target 2, 1 at target 3. That would have been a valid trade since we were not in this short trade. Actually, yeah, I wouldn't have been in that short trade. That short trade would have been get in sync, and we'd have gotten the long before we got in sync. So we would be in the long, and we would have gotten target 2. We'd have used chase. Well, no, we wouldn't have used chase 6. We'd have been in it right here. So we'd have gotten 9 times 2 is 18, plus 12 is 30. And we would be trailing right now at 85 flat. So we would be trailing from right there. And this would be a power quitting trade for soybeans. We did stop out of the micro Russell trade, and now we have a short V. Unfortunately, that one did hit the entry. Probably avoidable, just to stab through. Excuse me. So that trade is off the table. I'm going to assume that one was avoidable. We got a win there. No, that was a break even. That was a win. Just a shade early. Yeah, we got so we have 2 wins and a break even. Long setup. That's a get in sync. That pulled back too fast to get involved with. Make it 30.3. And if it does hit the stop, the trade cancels. Soybeans, still no change there. Trailer at 85 flat, 1085 flat. Pound Aussie slowing down a bit there. Oh, phooey. Micro NQ would have been a break even, so we get a win, and we said, yeah, we said that one's maybe. Let's call that a win. Loss, no getting away from that one, and that one's a break even. So 2 wins, a loss, and a break even. Yeah, we'd have gone to 85 and a quarter, so that's going to be right there. 1 tick addition to the stop on soybeans. It's challenging it now. Now, an Aussie stop moves up, still in the trade that we're not participating in. All right, we do cancel the micro Russell trade. Crude trade stops out, so we can get a new trade there if you didn't take the add-on. And we're 10 minutes from our 10 a.m. We're 10 minutes from the end of the session, so we may or may not get a trade in this session. Micro NQ goes short. Soybeans stops out. So soybeans is done. Picks up 6 ticks on the trailer. And so we have 36 ticks. That's 9 points. And $450 trades. That takes care of soybeans. 4 trades in the books for the micro NQ. Three trades for micro Russell. 2 wins and a break even. 2 wins, a break even, and a loss for the micro NQ, and we're in trade number 5. No, wait a minute. So win-win, loss, 3 wins. A loss and a break even. We're in trade number 6. Final trade for micro NQ. And money management on micro NQ, so it'll be at least a break even, and there is target. So that is a fourth win on the 6 trades. So power of quitting either with the 4 wins or the 6 trades. Definitely the end of the session. That's yeah. There's target 3. Trailer still at break even. Looking for a trade in the next 6+ minutes on crude. Pound Aussie stop moves up again. 0073. Today is an FOMC interest rate announcement day, so things could be a little slow this morning. No trades so far on unleaded today. Micro NQ pulled back to the 50 and now pushing downward again. Trailer is activated. There is target 3. Trailer at 619 1/4. We'll move down to target 4 for our final fixed target goal. Pound Aussie still in the long. All right, we did get a new long triggered in and stopped out, so that is loss number 2 on Micro Russell. Trade number 4. Don't worry about where the money management would have been. Target 1 will be close enough for the moment. It's a full stop out. And unfortunately, we didn't get across to the short side, so no new trade coming. We did hit target 4 on the Micro Russell or Micro NQ rather, and stopped out at 607 3/4. So that is done. Four winners on 6 trades with a break even and a loss. Positive session, and we'll put unleaded back where it belongs now. Still no activity there today. less than 2 minutes, a minute and 28, minute 35 to trigger into a trade on crude. I wouldn't want to trigger into something right now with the inventory report coming in 30 minutes. All right, 20 seconds to the end of this 9 a.m. crude session. And up close would set up a long trade. Not likely to set up and trigger in the next 5 seconds. Even if it's set up, you wouldn't have time to get it in, get the order in before. And now we are out of our 10 a.m. our 9 a.m. mini session. No 10 a.m. because we do have the inventory report in 30 minutes. We can take 2 more trades on the micro Russell. We can take trades on pound Aussie and unleaded. No trades this morning on either of those. YM is done. Crude is either a no trade session if you didn't use the add-on, or a 51 tick winning session if you did use the add-on. Now the question is, where do we go? I'll stay here for another 15 minutes. See if we get anything on the pound Aussie, unleaded, or the micro Russell. Soybeans, the YM, crude are all done. Micro NQ is done. No trades on unleaded or pound Aussie this morning. Pound Aussie's still in that early long trade. Trade plan doesn't start on that until 8:30. Trade had gone too far by then. There's your long trade on crude, but it's too late. We do have a long trade on unleaded. That just did trigger in. $77.21. We've got up to 22. So that looks like a small trade, but because of the move, it's actually a fairly good sized trade. A little bit hesitant to take that this late in the game. But unless you have a 9 o'clock cutoff for crude inventory days, it's a valid trade plan trade. $25 and 41, so it's not a terribly large. It's not a large trade. It is fairly small trade. Here comes a long trade on Micro Russell. There it is. And there's the entry. One tick move. 35.1 looks like, yeah. Two wins, a break even, and a loss, and this is going to be at least a break even for trade number 5. $338. And stop. Ow. And that's a break even stop out. So two wins, two break evens, and a loss. One trade remaining. There is another stop move. To 0074, which, yeah, that's, I would probably leave the stop at 7.3 in this case, but you know, we're not in the trade, so actually track it as it plots would be the proper way to go. If I were trading it, I would have held the stop back because of the swing. Crude trying to turn up. Target 3 on the micro Russell after unfortunately stopping out at break even. That's calculative tracking the trade because it moves that, makes that break even stop move at the close of the bar, not intra bar. And that's the difference. In this case. Right, there's a stop out. on the micro Russell. One trade remaining there. And we are 14 minutes after the hour. Pound Aussie moving up again. Not going to get any trades there before we have to go away. One trade remaining on the micro Russell. We are in the long trade on unleaded. I would let that run until probably 5 minutes before the crude inventory report, and I would close that wherever it is. Other than that, that is it. So we will see everybody back in about 10 minutes. Everybody have a good one. We'll see you shortly. Crude oil inventory report coming up at the bottom of the hour. So we will try to get back in here about 25 after and start a new stream. See you then.